This is the University of Yaounde. The Economic Policy Management Program is based here. This project focuses on improving the skills of civil servants, especially those working with economic policy. Professor, bienvenue au programme. Maybe the first question we should ask is the impact of the PM program.
L'impact du programme de formation et gestion de la politique économique.
The impact of the Economic Policy Management Program can be subdivided into two parts. There is a direct impact on the training of the people that we receive and an indirect impact on the strengthening of the institutional capacity.
Concernant le renforcement des capacités humaines sur la formation des personnes que nous avons.
About the strengthening of human capacity, we have already trained 390 people, 20% of whom are women in 10 different countries: Cameroon, Congo, Gabon, Central African Republic, Chad, Djibouti, the Comores, Rwanda and Burundi. We cover all these countries, and we have already trained quite a number of civil servants who have come from administrations, usually in charge of economic policy.
Gestion de la politique économique, c'est un diplôme de l'université Yaoundé 2.
These people are qualified in economic management policy. Now, what is the impact of this training? How does this person change their attitude in the ministerial office? Does this person work better than before? Does this person contribute towards any improvement in the quality of public decisions? On this topic, what we observe is that many people who were trained by us, upon their return to office, they change their behavior, they improve the quality of the public sector's decisions. And one can see this in the results, since generally speaking this person gets a promotion. They are made vice manager, manager, general inspector. We even have 2 ministers today, one in Cameroon and one in the Comores, who are graduates of the EPM training. In general, these people recognize that their promotion, the quality of their work, are due to the fact that they were trained here. This is one thing. The second element to measure the impact of EPM is how they utilize these people, how they judge them. Does this person work well? The central bank sponsors our program to the tune of 20%. They came here and told us that since we have been training civil servants in EPM, the manner in which negotiations take place between the World Bank and African countries has changed.
La manière dont les négociations se passent entre la Banque mondiale et les pays africains a changé.
Before the institution of EPM in Africa, the players of the World Bank dominated the negotiations. Today, with the knowledge that we give the civil servants who go through our programs, not only in Cameroon, but in all the EPM programs in Africa, the World Bank recognizes the presence of the negotiating committees of these people trained in EPM programs, improves the manner in which the bank negotiates with African civil servants today.
Well, it looks like the successes do spread wide from the countries you have spoken about, the DRC, Uganda, Burundi, Djibouti. But we wouldn't be here, Professor, would we, if we didn't have Pan-African organizations like the ACBF, the importance of organizations like ACBF.
Oh, yes.
Before ACBF was created in 1991, there were initiatives in capacity strengthening, some by the World Bank, McGill University and the IMF, which trained African civil servants, etc. There were a few attempts at capacity strengthening before, but they were badly conducted because they always originated outside the African continent by people who were not African, who therefore did not fully grasp the African economic reality, and the scope of these programs were very narrow. With the creation of ACBF, which had as one of its founding fathers someone who had worked on this question at the World Bank, the scope of capacity strengthening is extremely wide. The ACBF today has over 200 programs for capacity strengthening, because even when they finance programs which are not primarily geared for the capacity strengthening, somewhere inside these programs, they do indeed have capacity strengthening elements. And we strengthen the capacity not only of civil servants, but also of civil society, NGOs and university staff. We train people who write theses and master's dissertations financed by ACBF. We strengthen the capacity of civil servants in charge of the economy, but not only that, that of magistrates, of people involved in law, of all players in the intellectual society of the African continent. We strengthen the capacity of civil servants in charge of the economy, but not only that of magistrates, of people involved in law, of all players in the intellectual society of the African continent. So much so that today one can say that there is a before ACBF and an after ACBF. If ACBF ceased to exist, it would cause enormous problems for most African countries on one hand, and also to the players who were brought to this point by the ACBF.
Well, Professor, clearly we wouldn't be very far if we didn't have organizations like the ACBF. We have to leave it there. Merci beaucoup.
Definitely trouble. Thank you very much.